Hi everybody, it's Annette from The Art of Intuition, and today we are going to talk about creating what we're going to perceive as the future and how the future has not been decided yet. And that's why we kind of always can get bogged down in what comes next. And whether in your human realities and even in your higher aligned realities, starting to anchor in your heaven on earth realities, your most awesome soul aligned realities, you still could be a little preoccupied with how it happens. What happens? How do I get there? We're always kind of looking to get to the next place. And I've noticed I always have kind of done this. In my human life, I did it. In my higher consciousness experiences, I kind of still will be prone to that program where I'm like, okay, what happens next? And then I started really taking a moment to look at being present in the moment I'm in, because that is what creates the future. And what you see in front of you is kind of old news, it's kind of the past. It's what you created before, the moment you're in now. That's what's in front of you now. But look at what is in front of you. Look at how do you maintain your vibration no matter what's happening around you. Can you maintain the highest vibration of yourself all the time? Those are going to be super important things to getting to what you're desiring as a future. And that's why a lot of times we'll see certain things and they might not play out the way we want them to play out, and we don't really understand why. We're like, I thought that was going to play out. Why didn't that play out? Well, it stopped playing out because I shifted my vibration and I did something that kind of derailed that reality from coming true. I counted my chicken before they hatched. I started what's the word I want to use here? I started doing things that were not the vibration of that future I wanted. Whether that means, I wasn't acting from my purest place. I wasn't doing the highest aligned thing because I said, oh, I know that's going to happen, so I don't need to worry about all these other things in the middle. But all those other things in the middle is what was going to get that here. So a lot of times we'll kind of see certain things we want, and we can see a lot of different things that we might look at, whether we're in our waking state or our dream state, and kind of fixate on them a little bit and say, oh, I really want that. How do I get that? And then we start kind of working toward that. But if we start slipping out of the moment and worrying about how is that even going to happen? I don't know what I have to do to get that, or how come it's not here right now, or I really want that to be here. We kind of start derailing it a little bit. And there are other things that might come in that are better than that one. But we're not in present moment and looking and focusing on what we're doing right now, what we're creating right now. And don't worry about 10 minutes from now. Don't worry about how that's going to happen. Do what you're supposed to do in that moment and be fully present in that moment. And that sounds easier than it is, especially if in our human realities, it was really tough because we're bombarded by so many things in our outer world. In our higher line realities, it's a little different because we feel more bombarded by stuff in our inner world. Now, in a sense, they're kind of the same thing, but you know where I'm going with that. We don't have the physical drama distractions. Our energy isn't sourced from outside. We don't get energized by things happening outside of us anymore like human realities were. We are energized from our soul body, our light body, inside out. That is how we get our energy up, and we are not energized by other people. There are certain situations and people that might feel like they activate us, but normally that's for a short period of time, so we can find that in ourselves, that feeling, and then those people stop being activators. So I'm kind of not talking about that part. I'm talking more when we're entrenched in our human realities and we draw all of our energy. We source our energy from outside of us. We get excited about certain things going on outside of us. Where the higher line realities, you're going to be sourcing inside out. You're going to be building up your light internally. And that can take a lot more time in the beginning because we really have to be alone a lot of the time to be able to do that. It's not like a simple thing we do. So just kind of keep those things in mind when you are looking at that and doing that, to kind of not get kind of too far ahead of yourself with what you want to anchor in tomorrow. Look at what you're doing right now. Look at what's going on around you right now. Look at what you might have to align right now. A lot of times we kind of don't want to do that. We know some of this stuff is not aligned, but we don't really want to deal with that. We just want to get to this thing over here. But that thing over there can't happen if we're messing around with this stuff that's not aligned. And there's a good chance that portal might close for that reality. It might open back up again, but it might close for a while because we really weren't kind of ready to step into it. We were not taking care of our business that was in front of us. So just be really present in what you're doing right now. I promise you the future hasn't been created yet. So worrying about a future that's not even created yet is a waste of time. From someone who wasted a lot of time doing that in my human realities and even in the beginning, and sometimes I'll find myself slipping into that even in my higher line realities, don't waste your time on that. Because no one knows exactly. You might see a lot of different ones. Which one's going to play out is going to depend on your frequency. Your vibration is paramount. That's what's going to bring in your most highest aligned realities. And trying to jump to those without kind of anchoring in what you have to anchor in today, it doesn't work like that. You're going to be creating that with everything you do in every moment. That's why sometimes when we get to those realities, it feels like, oh my God, it took so long. It took so long for that to get here. It didn't really take that long for it to get here. Our vibration had to be at a certain place for that to materialize around us. It had to kind of be in front of us. And if it wasn't in front of us and our vibration wasn't in that reality where that thing existed, it couldn't come in for us in a sense. So, okay. So don't focus on tomorrow. Focus on what you got to do right now. And if you do know you have to do something tomorrow, you have something you have to get through tomorrow, then when you're in your sleep state, ask to kind of go through the reality ahead of time. So when you get to tomorrow, it's kind of a very smooth reality. But don't pay that much attention to even the outside world because it's an illusion anyway. Even our higher realities are still illusions. They're just prettier illusions, but they're still illusions. Sometimes we have to be very committed to what we feel inside is going to happen and not what's actually in front of us. So don't worry about the future. You're going to create it from now, not from tomorrow. And worrying about what's going to happen tomorrow, you're really not creating anything. So, okay. Keep practicing the art of intuition.